Hi, today I'm here in Canon Singapore with the head of marketing for this region, Edwin. He's here. Okay, why am I here? I'm here because Canon has just launched, or in the process of launching, 2 brand new cameras. Hi, Edwin.
Hi, Zed.
Hey, thank you for having me here today. You know, it's really exciting because it's not very often that, I get to see or use a pre-production camera. And that's what we have over here today.
That's right.
2 pre-production cameras. Can you just give me, that's a very top liner, what are they, what are these models?
Okay, firstly, let me introduce this new lineup. This is the EOS R50. As you can see, it's very trendily clothed in 2 different colors. Of course, a more classical black and a trendy white color. It's very small, compact, very petite. Its form factor is very similar to the very popular predecessor, the EOS M50 Mark II. Exactly the same time, with height, same form factor. So it appeals very much to people moving from smartphones but wants better photos, better video. We have built these 2 variations, the R50, to give a lot of automatic function for this target users. You know, as they're getting into better videography, better cameras, we don't want to overwhelm them with the technicalities of photography. We've created a lot of new auto functions. For example, we have a creative bracketing function here in this camera. What creative bracketing is, you take a picture and it suggests 3 other variations. So from one snap, you get 4 pictures of original and 3 other variations. These suggestions help you have more fun. Over time, you realize there are certain pictures that appeal to you more. You can look at the settings, and then next time you can dial in those settings. Okay, so it helps you in terms of the discovery and makes photography more fun. We also have the advanced A+ mode. Not only does it detect just the normal scenes, there's this advanced functionality so that even in backlight situation, it can adjust for it, optimize it so that you get a good dynamic range. So these are some of the photographic functions. We intend this camera to be your first mirrorless camera for maybe moving from smartphones, but even though it's targeted at the first-time users into mirrorless, it is equipped with a lot of strong functionalities from our even more advanced model. So it's no slouch when it comes to performance. You are looking at a 24.2 megapixel sensor. It's autofocus. It uses our very renowned dual-pixel CMOS AF2 system that detects humans, face, eyes, animals from your cats, birds, dogs, to even motor vehicles. So a lot of functionalities built in, and it shoots at a fast of 15 frames per second. Okay.
Right. So as you mentioned, this is basically what you would call, actually Edwin corrected me just now. So it's your first mirrorless camera.
Yep.
So when you're upgrading from, the target market for this is people that are upgrading from just using their smartphones.
That's right.
Right. But like you said, it's still a bit of a technological beast in there, right? So you've got your creative brackets, you've got your auto mode. How does this do on video?
I think very strong feature set for video. So of course, it shoots 4K up to different frame rates, 60p without cropping. You know, so you're getting oversampling from the full 6K sensor. So you get a lot of details down there. And you can even do slow-mo at full HD 120p, so you can slow it down to 4 times normal speed. But not only in this sort of resolutions, the actual usage for vloggers, streamers. For example, it has built-in movie IS stabilization with different levels from your normal to even enhanced. So even when you're on the move and all that, it stabilizes for you. You can also plug this out directly to your computer, and it works like you can use it for live stream, you know, so you don't need to have a special applications. It works with the likes of your Zoom, your Teams, and also there's a very interesting function for the new EOS R50. If you are doing you're a vlogger doing, like, say, makeup tutorial. Typically, when you're doing the camera, a vlog of yourself, when you have a product, you bring it up to the screen. Because typically cameras are on face detection, it always looks on the face. It doesn't go to your product. So a lot of vloggers, what they've done is they've gone on to block off their face and all that, which makes a very unaesthetically pleasing video. With this new close-up mode itself, when I bring up a product close to the camera, it does a very smooth transition, like a focus spool from the face to the product. And when I bring the product, it transitions very professionally back to the face. So it works very well for vloggers out there.
I think that's very, very cool, and I can definitely see a lot of applications for that. And speaking of applications, literally applications, you mentioned that this can be used as a webcam.
That's right.
Or replace your webcam.
That's
and
right.
Especially for streamers, we want higher quality streams. Do you need any third-party apps or software in order for you to stream? Because
you don't need to. It's just a very simple process. Connect your USB from the port from the camera to your laptop. Run it natively from your Zoom, Teams, it will detect as a webcam, and just stream along. So that's how simple we made it, so no third-party applications needed,
Right, perfect. So as I mentioned, Canon, is launching two new. So they have this, so this is the EOS 50.
R50, that's
R50, right? The R50 and the R8. So if you're watching this right now on our YouTube or IGTV channels, the video that's been captured right now is from the new R8. It's a pre-production model. We've got an extremely basic lighting setup over here, just to give you an idea of what it might look like. This is still not a complete model, it's a pre-production model, and we're going to do the same with the R50 right now. And now we've swapped out. So now that's the R50 over there. And we have, I keep forgetting names, numbers. So this is the R8, right? So the 50 is now shooting. And again, this is a basic setup. Just a couple of lights, nothing. We're just in a small room. It's not a control studio. And that's a pre-production unit. So we got to say that because that's still not a final unit. It's not in the market. So we have that now shooting at us. Can you tell us a little bit about the new R8?
Well, as you can see, this is our new EOS R8. Very small, very light. In fact, it's our lightest full-frame mirrorless. The previous record holder was our EOS RP, but with the R8, we've shaved off 20 grams from a very light camera. Now it's only at 461 grams. Okay, so it's a fantastic lightweight, but still very ergonomic for handling, And this is, remember, it's a full-frame camera. It has a 24.2 megapixel sensor, CMOS sensor, and it inherits a lot of the strong functions from the recently launched R6 Mark II, but now in a very compact form factor, lightweight form factor, and of course, very importantly, affordable price point.
Right, and so you've got the R6,
yes.
And then you have the RP, which has been around for about 4 years now.
Yes, that's right.
Where does this sit in between that RP, or how does it compare to the RP and then the 6?
So of course, we believe in making cameras for every type of user out there, and there are different people with different needs. So of course, first, if you're considering a category, in this category, first you must be looking at moving to a full-frame camera. Why would you want to move to a full-frame camera? Because there is that particular look, i.e. your shallow depth of field, your better light control, low light situation, that will compel you to move to the full-frame category. So of course, there are multiple full-frame cameras, but why would you consider the RP? It will be more for users who are just moving from APS-C sensors or DSLR technology format. They're moving into the new mirrorless world that the R system offers. Okay, they want to enjoy the new RF lenses. Okay, so the R6 Mark II we will launch is a powerhouse, has a lot of strong functionalities, but if you're more budget constrained or if you just want a lighter body, well, the EOS R8 will be the answer for you. Of course, RP is older in the lineup, but if you are constrained by budget, it's still satisfied and you don't need the advanced requirements of the R8 or R6 Mark II, well, the RP will still be relevant for you.
Right, and I always talk about video, and we all know that not all full-frame cameras are equal. and not all 4K cameras are equal as well. I mean, we know that, right? How does the R8 perform? Is there a crop on the 4K? Because there's some full frame, and then there's a crop. Is there a crop, or does it show?
Well, I'm glad to announce that there's no cropping, so you can do 4K 60 uncropped. Of course, other frame rates 30, 25. It's always available, but you can also choose to adopt cropping if you want. So that's an option, but it's not a forced crop. So good functionality from this camera. Full HD, slow-mo, you can go even faster down to 180p. That means you can slow it down to 6 times the normal speed. So it gives a lot of flexibility, and it has C-Log 3 for better dynamic range capture, post-processing. You have this capability.
Right, fantastic. So what's we have now one which is kind of entry level.
That's right.
Who is this really for? Would you say a frequent content creator, a photographer, a videographer? Yes. Which one?
Well, the new EOS R8, of course, is both strong both in stills and video functions. So for content creators, for someone who's looking at higher quality content, we'll talk about the 4K quality, the slow-mo capabilities. So people who want better quality, better output, but at the same time, technically handling, even for stills, is very strong. Besides the 24.2 megapixel, this shoots as fast as 40 frames per second. You have very strong AF capabilities from the, we have the intelligence and tracking and recognition that not only looks at human face eye, you can even prioritize whether you want to shoot left eye, right eye, press a button, toggle between the two with your customization. In terms of animals, you have cats, dogs, birds, but even horses. And motor vehicles are expanded from not only your motorbikes, your race cars, but things like planes, helicopters, trains even. Right. So we expanded a lot of range, a lot more functionality. So whether you are in a still or videography concern, it will be a very strong contender for people looking to up their game.
Perfect. Now, one of the things that I guess we should talk about, are there any limitations to this? So previously when you used to shoot, when you used to take things, there are always limitations.
That's right.
It gets irritating. Are they still present?
I wouldn't say it's a limitation. Of course, the new EOS R50 and the R8 do not have inbuilt image stabilization because I think the priority for this cameras are to prioritize the size, the lightweight, and of course the price point. And for the target market, we don't think it's a big penalty because a lot of the lenses that we have already comes with image stabilization, or even for movie, you have your movie IS. All this will help them get a stabilization at an attractive price point. Of course, for more demanding users, technical users who want the best of all worlds, best form of stabilization where you have both in body as well as in lens, we do have higher models available.
Now when we look at these two cameras, what would you say is the way the industry is moving, or at least the way Canon? So what are the new features that are present in both, or are you doing anything different compared to the previous models that you've launched with these two? So I don't know, take me through that.
Yep, I think if you look at these two new models we're launching, the R50, R8, you can see that the market today is moving a lot, not just in terms of still. There's still a big market looking at just purely still photography, but the other side, video is getting more and more important, imagery, whether it's for social sharing, blogs, everything. Video content is important. Content creation now goes beyond just still. So the video functionality is important. We've heard that, we put in a lot of video functions, not only the R8, but even the R50, all your 4K recording resolutions, capabilities. The habits are different. Now content creators want to do live stream. So again, we have built that into these two new cameras. So that's the trend we are going in. The other side of things, we also see that, while there has been a proliferation of smartphones with better capabilities, at the same time, the market also wants better capture devices and all that. So what we've done is to have the R50, but to not make it intimidating for them. So what you see in the R50, it's a very petite body that doesn't look like, oh, this is a very professional gear, big thing of a camera that scares them off technicalities, what all these settings. We built all the functionalities. It's very much like a smartphone interface. Press buttons, touch screen, full touch screen, tap to focus. So it's very familiar to the target users, and I think that's where a new breed of users are coming in. They are moving from their smartphone and say, hey, I want better content, I want better quality from my captures. I'm considering a camera, but give me one that focuses on the outcome and don't scare me with the technicalities. So of course, again, even the R50 comes with a lot of strong functions. It's available there. You want to do full manual control, it's there. But we don't want to bog you down at the start. The camera will guide you and give you very good outcomes.
Right. And you're also launching lenses. Let's very quickly touch on what are the high points of these lenses, what make them different from the other lines.
Yes. So what you see here is our new 24-50mm lens. This is the lens that comes kitted with the R8 when you buy the kit model. Existingly, our kits are bigger in terms of focal range, 28-105. We have an f4, we have a more variable zoom, but they're all longer focal length. So it is bigger. If you look at the size of this 24-50, very small. It's just 1 cm longer than our 51.8. Okay, but the focal range is a very versatile focal range, 24 to 50. On a full frame camera, it's very good for street. It's almost like 2 times zoom. Covers a wide angle to a standard perspective 50mm. Even you pair it with an APS-C camera, it's very usable, 38 to 80mm. So you can even do good portraiture with this lens. So it's a very versatile kit lens and very compact for that. The other one we're releasing is the RFS 55-210. This builds on a very popular EFM model, the 55-200. It brings out the whole telephoto reach. So basically, if you have a kit lens, a 18-45, you pair up with 55-210, you get that full from wide all the way to ultra tele. It also focuses much closer than the 55-200, so that actually with the extra focal length, you get a higher magnification also. So again, a good second lens for beyond the kit lens that comes with the camera.
Perfect. And when would these cameras and the lenses be available?
They will be coming next few months. The R50 will be available towards late March, and the R8 will be around late April.
Cool. I myself personally am really quite looking forward towards the R8. I think I kind of like what I see. Again, these are pre-production units, so as full disclaimer, this is not a sponsored session. This is just a nice way for us to take a look at the new cameras that are coming out. The videos that you've seen before of the R8 and now the R50, there's no one standing behind the camera, no one's using it. It's been set on automatic, both of them, very simple light setup. This is just a taste, a flavor. It's not a review of what you can get, what you can expect from these two cameras. Specs wise, they look pretty decent, pretty good. And we'll put it up on the article as well as more information on the Just Saying Asia website with regards to the lenses. So with that, thank you very much. And I'd love to get some more time with these cameras.
Sure.
Yes. Take care. See you.
Thank you.